Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rumble here from the beautiful Talladega Super Speedway. Practice coming to a close and these drivers ready to go here from the beautiful 2.5 mile speedway. It's actually 2.6 miles here at Talladega Super Speedway, the biggest racetrack here in NASCAR Racing, as the MNT Cup Series ready to go to battle here on the evening for a lot of great door-to-door, elbows-up action out there on the speedway. The pushing and shoving, and the big one around the corner here, as always, going to be sitting in the back of the mind of each and every one of these competitors. You want to keep yourself out of trouble. You want to make sure you keep yourself out of the big one here at the speedway. No quick repairs, and you can see a lot of damage, a lot of carnage tore up here in a quick hurry. It doesn't, we've seen 10, 20, 30 cars get tied up in one single incident here at Talladega Super Speedway, and we're hoping for none of that here on the evening. We're hoping for nothing but clean and green racing, as this series with the MNT Cup Series, they have already had three caution-free races here on the season. Out of their 8 races, 3 of them have had 0 caution flags, and we may be seeing another one here this evening. If things can stay clean and green, we start to see green flag pit stops here underway. We could see things open up quite a bit here and see this one go for a long green flag run to start the day. But you never know when a late race caution flag may come, and when that may bring the intensity up to see drivers pushing a little bit harder, shoving a little bit faster out there on the speedway, and seeing the caution flags start to fly and seeing the carnage start to unfold. Is James Garland, my boy James, coming in with the heart reaction there on the Facebook broadcast. How are you, James? Mr. Garland coming in, showing the big love here in this one. How are you, brother? How you doing this evening? Coming in, smashing the heart reaction here on the broadcast as we'll get ready to go green flag racing here in just a little bit. Qualifying underway right now as drivers jumping out onto the speedway here. They are getting ready for this start of the feature event. Now we have a huge field of drivers this evening, ladies and gentlemen. A huge field, a lot of drivers, a ton of great competitors. I do believe we're over 40 different cars here on the night. 40 different drivers ready to rock and roll here for this evening. You take a look throughout all of these drivers out there. You see Josh Small in the 39 ride, Mark Miller out there as well in the 10 machines strolling on the speedway. Steve Tucker out there in the race day Harpoon Race Designs number 1 ride, the Harpoon Designs ride rolling out there on the speedway. We see Chad Coleman in the 15, the AC Delco machine rolling on the speedway. Anthony Calatoni, one of our championship hopefuls, rolling out there as well. The Talking Giants, John Boy Media, number 84 ride rolling out there. We see Justin Lewis, another one of our championship contenders in the JL Racing 07 ride out there on the speedway as well. Derek Gatt, the 21 ride, the MNT Motorsports machine. We see AJ Cruz, the Mud Duck Racing Majula Speed Shop 57 ride out there. We see the Mud Duck Racing Majula Speed Shop number 5 of Caleb Ramsey also out on the racetrack, as everyone trying to lay down their quickest lap time. Is right now Matt Swoop with the quickest time here on the speedway. The 77 rider Joshua Yarborough second quickest on the racetrack. Justin Lewis there in third. Mark Miller fourth quickest on the track is Christian Protector there in the number 04 ride up there as well. It's Fred Anderson jumping to the point here. Woo, baby, in the 1 Incorporated number 94 ride. Fred Anderson with a heater jumps into the quickest top spot here on the speedway. Fastest lap time here for qualifying. Matt Swoop will go back to second as Darrell Young Jr. in the HDR number 71 ride jumps up into third. Todd Merkel now in fourth as Yarborough there in fifth here on the speedway. Chad Coleman, Clay Cantrell, Justin Lewis, Mark Miller, and Christian Protractor there in 10th. Hopefully I'm saying that right, as Steve Tucker in 11th, Josh Small, Christian Angel, Anthony Calatoni, Caleb Ramsey, our top 15 here. As we're going to have Already we see 32 different drivers with lap times on the speedway. See the WBD diecast number 91 ride, the WBD diecast ride out there on the speedway. Wesley Donaldson, he's going to get a little bit quicker right there. He's going to jump up into position number 2 here on the time charts, virtually level. Let's take a look at the official iRacing results here as you can take a look at the difference right there. That is 4 1/1000ths of a second between our first and second place driver there for these qualifying lap times. 4 1/1000ths of a second here between first and second. That is absolutely insane. As qualifying gonna come to a close, that means these drivers are gonna get ready to jump out onto the speedway. As do I have dyslexia? I actually do have dyslexia. That is for certain, Cosmo. As I definitely do have dyslexia. But if that's an issue, protractor, yeah, it's definitely not protractor. Yeah, I definitely read that one way too wrong. Yeah. I just read it quickly, brother. I got 50 different names that I'm reading here on a consistent basis, moving up and down the charts like crazy. So it's a little bit of a tough one. Pro Tour. Is the C silent? How do you pronounce the name? How do you pronounce it? The C is throwing me through a loop out there. The C is throwing me through a loop. Proctor, possibly. Yo, Brantley, what's good? Mr. Roden Brantley coming in, showing the love as well. Sorry, wasn't trying to be a POS. Hey, listen, it is what it is. It is what it is, brother. Hey, you know what? We're reading a lot of names in a quick hurry as we get ready for our starting lineup. It's down on the speedway here at Talladega Super Speedway, starting on the pole in the MNT number 94. It's the one incorporated ride of Fred Anderson here in this one. Starting in that pole position to his outside in the WBD diecast number 91, and that is Wesley Donaldson. Then we see Matt Swoop there in position number 3. Daryl Young Jr. going to start there in 4th with Todd Merkel there in position number 5 on the speedway. Then we see Joshua Yarborough to his outside, Chad Coleman, Clay Cantrell there in row number 4 with Justin Lewis and Mark Miller in the Citizens number 10 ride, rounding out our top 10 here on the speedway. Christian Practor there in position number 11 as Steve Tucker there to his outside as the Despicable Me number 04 ride there of Christian Practor rolling in position number 11 as Steve Tucker there in that beautiful Harpoon Designs number 1 ride there in 12th. And we see Justin Lewis in the 60 ride of Christian Angel. Then we see Josh Small, Caleb Ramsey, Chase Greer, Derek Cat, Anthony Calatoni, Charles Van Schaik, AJ Cruz, Brett Patterson, Jay Stinson, Bradley King, William Burton, Justin Brantley, Chris Campbell, Brett Patterson. Oh man, this whole lineup's getting messed up here. There's a lot of drivers down low, a little bit slower. Zachary Nerney there in position at number 27. Corey Rainey there to his outside in the Reese's number 4 ride. You see the 44, the Bobcat machine of Kerry Klein. They're starting in the 28th position. We see Kevin Haas, Mike Martino, Curtis Miller, Alec Martinez, Storm Patterson, Clark Jenkin, Austin Glenn Jackson, Thomas Psycho, they're in position number 37. Dale Miller, Luke Cup, unfortunately, looks like he's starting down pit side. Same with Brian Huntley Jr. and Bradley Stefane, all down pit side here, as it looks like 38 drivers going to get ready to rock and roll here for our green flag here on the evening, as the green flag going to get underway. As it's okay, you're a Phillies fan, makes sense. It does make sense. Hey, listen, as long as we can hit bombs and play sports, who cares about reading, right? No one cares about reading. Reading's nothing. As the pace car gonna make the hard left-hand turn down pit side, we're gonna get ready to go green flag racing. 38 drivers ready to see the initial green flag fly. A few drivers waiting patiently down pit side to rejoin this field. Unfortunately, they'll have no drafting help. They'll have to try to work together to try to hang out there and not go a lap down here on the speedway. It's Fred Anderson, Wesley Donaldson, 1 and 2. They're going to add all the anticipation as our feature presentation gets underway here from Talladega Super Speedway. Is Fred Anderson quickly onto the loud pedal, down low, looking for some help, but hooked up there on the outside. Wesley Donaldson in the 71 ride of Darrell Young Jr. working together perfectly here, pushing each other hard down the back straightaway. Donaldson will take that race lead as they are absolutely clear of the inside lane. Here's the outside, just working well together early on in this one. They're going to have to try to get lined up and pushing here down low if they want to jump up here and try to work back to the front of the field for Fred Anderson as he's already being scored. Back in position number 4 is the 77 ride. Now clear of the inside lane as well as the outside lane is absolutely flying here with Wesley Donaldson and Darrell Young Jr. hooked up there on the outside. They will lead a lap number 1. So the 91, the WBD diecast ride of Wesley Donaldson leads the first lap here of the evening. Donaldson out in front, showing these drivers how to get it done. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you haven't already, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that share button, and hit that follow and subscribe button here on the broadcast. As Nelson John says, got to get you a Yankees jersey. Just kidding. Listen, brother, listen, I would wear a Yankees jersey if I had one, you know. I probably would. I mean, I'm a Phillies fan, but I mean, someone wants to buy me an Aaron Judge jersey, I will wear an Aaron Judge jersey, no problem at all. Okay, no problem at all. As let's get a guys, let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's get it, baby. Let's get it. Says Anthony Garland out there on the Facebook broadcast. Is my boy Black Phoenix also coming in with the like on the broadcast as well over there on FB. Joey Lamb coming in with the thumbs up on the broadcast as well as Anthony Garland says, laugh my ass off. I just wanted to see you attempt to say it. Yeah. Don't do that again, Anthony. Don't do that one again. It's out in front. Wesley Donaldson still controlling the outside lane. Here's the inside lane a little bit more broken up here as things continuing to fall apart down low, as now you see Caleb Ramsey leading the very bottom lane. You see the 07 of Justin Lewis down through the middle. He's going to try to find a hole up here on the high side as him and the 84 are trying to work together to get to the front of the field. That's Anthony Calatoni back there, currently being scored in about the 14th position on the speedways. Things a little bit broken up around the speedway. You see another little group a little farther back here as about our top 30 drivers all right there together, all top 30 right in there in this fight here at the front of the field. And a little farther back you see Curtis Miller in the 70 ride, William Burton right there as well, Mike Martino there as well in that little group, and Chris Campbell, Corey Rainey, Kevin Haas, Dale Miller, all kind of hanging out a little deeper in the pack here, just kind of chilling there at the rear of the field, playing it safe out there on the speedway, as at any moment in time we could see the big one unfold here at Talladega Super Speedway. We've seen it tons and tons of times in the past here, and it is probably going to be another big one at some point in time here this evening for these MNT Cup Series drivers, whether or not it's at the front of the field or the middle of the pack, or sometimes we even see these caution flags start at the rear of the field here. But when these drivers start to get bound together, 2 wide, 3 wide out there on the speedway, anything is bound to happen, and we can see 10, 20, 30 cars get tore up in a quick hurry. Is Wesley Donaldson trying to keep that all back there behind him, as now you see the 07 making a move. Justin Lewis jumps down to the inside lane here. So Justin Lewis looking to try to work himself to the front of the field, as he's got the Mud Duck Racing, the Majula State Speed Shop 57 ride of AJ Cruz right there on his back bumper. They're going to find some speed, and now we go door to door for the race lead. Is down through the tri-oval and across the line. We get our first new race leader here on the evening. Justin Lewis going to jump up and lead lap number 5 here on the day, as he takes the race lead away from Wesley Donaldson. Now he's going to slide up in front of Donaldson. Look out as things get a little squirrely there for that 07 ride. Now he's going to be put into the middle. Here comes the 88 machine of Clay Cantrell. He's going to try to pick him up and try to hang right there with him as the inside lane going to continue to pull ahead as AJ Cruz, our new race leader here on the evening. Can he hold it down and lead this lap? Is right there behind him is Christian Proctor. Right there behind him is Proctor in position number 2 in the Despicable Me 04 ride, roll in there in that second spot on the speedway, pushing the 57 across the line as AJ Cruz, our third race leader here on the evening. The 01, the Warriors Motorsports rides number 01 ride, rolling in position number 3. That's Matt Swoop there in the third spot. You see Todd Merkel right there as well in the Merkel Racing Engines number 2 machine. The 39 ride looking strong. That is the Worth machine of Josh Small, our top 5 here on the speedways. The outside lane slid back quite a bit of ways here as the 07, the JL Racing ride, the Merkel Racing Engines machine there in position number 7 for that 07 as he works to the outside of the Napa Auto Parts number 11 of Bradley King. Bradley King rolls there in that 6th spot on the speedway as he's got the 27 right there behind him of Brett Patterson as Patterson rolls there in position number 7, but the outside lane coming to life here is Alec Martinez right there in the middle of things, and the 45 ride of Storm Patterson in this fight as well as this outside lane starting to come together. A lot more drivers from deeper in this field starting to work themselves to the front of the pack here as the Family Dollar number 43 of Alec Martinez right there ready to strike. He's got Storm Patterson right there behind him. Jackson Glenn Austin up there, Clark Jenkin in the Family Dollar 42 ride. Then you see the 71 of Darrell Young Jr. Right there on the outside lane here as Wesley Donaldson slides all the way back to 18th. It looks like he's had a little bit of contact with that outside wall as well, so a little bit of damage there for the 91 ride. Hopefully that will not affect his performance here on the speedway as the front of the field, AJ Cruz leading the way here, showing these drivers how to get it done as our top 30 out there on the racetrack kind of all hanging there together. Some of them hanging a little farther back, taking a little bit easier. See Anthony Galatoni right there. Derek Cann at the back of the pack. Chase Greer, though, in there as well as Chris Campbell, our 30th place driver. Strolling back here a little farther back is this second pack here. Kind of just working together, trying to stay safe, trying to stay clean and green out here and out of any of the trouble that may unfold farther in front of them. As Chris Campbell, Corey Rainey, Kevin Haas, Dale Miller, all right there together. Then you see the 70 of Curtis Miller, Justin Bentley as well in the Scott Bloomquist number 16 ride out there on the speedway. Beautiful looking ride there, the MNT Motorsports, the Scott Bloomquist inspired 16 ride looking fresh out there on the speedway. Rest in peace to a true legend, Scott Bloomquist, unfortunately passing away earlier here this evening, and our hearts and prayers again go out to the entire Bloomquist family, friends, and race fans of many out there that have grown up cheering on and appreciating and loving everything Scott Bloomquist and what he's done for motorsports as truly a legend out of the sport here. Is everyone praying, hoping that those rumors early on in the morning were not true. Unfortunately, they were true, and we did lose Scott Bloomquist earlier today, and heartbreaker for the entire motorsports world, especially for the dirt track community, as we see some contact up here in front of them, and the caution flag is going to fly. So our caution flag for the first time here this evening is going to come out here. Now, I'm not 100% sure on what may have happened to bring this yellow flag out, but we will take a look. There you go, the 15 ride of Chad Coleman, and I'm not sure it's the 98 ride. I do believe that's Jay Stinson possibly getting into him here. Let me double check. I do believe that is Stinson right there behind him, and it looks like they just kind of get together. Unfortunately, a little bit of a late block for the 15. Just a bad tap there onto the back bumper. Puts the 15 right up into the fence. Justin Lewis going to get some contact into that as well. As the 15 comes back up the speedway right in front of Jay Stinson here. Tons of contact, tons of damage there for the 15 and the 98 ride. A little bit of damage for the 07 of Justin Lewis, one of our championship hopefuls, and our first caution flag of the day Not too many drivers collected, but a lot of damage for both of those contenders right there. Chad Coleman and Jay Stinson with abundance of damage there. As you see the 34 ride rolling out onto the speedway. That's Brian Huntley Jr. As unfortunately for Brian, he is multiple laps down as we'll get everyone stacked up, racked up, and ready to go back. The Green Flag Racing is at the front of the field. It's Jackson Glenn Austin leading the way here. So Jackson out in front with Alec Martinez, Clark Jenkin there in second and third. Christian Protector there in position number 4. I'm going to mess that name up a million times here this evening. I just know it. And Storm Patterson right there behind him. Patterson in the 45 ride. The Tyler Reddick paint scheme right there in position number 5 as we see Matt Swoop, Darrell Young Jr., Todd Merkel, Josh Small, Brett Patterson, our top 10 here on the speedway with Wesley Donaldson, Caleb Ramsey, Bradley King, Kerry Klein, and Justin Lewis, our top 15 here on the racetrack as drivers looking to head down pit side. And it looks like we're going to see a lot of our leaders, everyone inside the top 10, and possibly our entire field headed down pit road here as our pace car, a lone wolf, out there on the racetrack now as everyone coming down pit side as Proctor. Yes, we gotta try to remember that. It's gonna be a tough one to try to remember that. I promise you we'll get it right here sooner or later. Proctor in the 0-4 ride out there on the racetrack, the Despicable Me machine, as we'll take a look and see who's going to come out of pit lane first. And it does look like Clark Jenkin is going to be that first car out of pit lane. So he will be our race leader here on the restart. So Clark Jenkin to the point here on the speedway. So we'll see if we can jump up here, see if we can pull this number 42 into the booth. That's if he's in the Discord. Not sure if he is. Yes, he is. Okay, so we're going to see if we can pull our race leader up here into the broadcast booth as the 42 rider, Clark Jenkin, going to lead us back here to the green flag as we still got a lot of laps of racing action left to go here. It's the Las Vegas native making the long trip all the way here to Talladega, and he is looking very, very good here on the speedway as we'll pull him up into the broadcast booth. Hey, Clark, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Taking a copy?
Yes, sir.
Clark, man, a good run so far for you in this one as you started deep in the field. You and your teammate Alec Martinez and Jackson Glenn Austin, you guys have been working well together, getting up through the field here, and now, you know, the first caution flag of the day. You guys are able to stay in front of it and stay out of it. You come down pit side, you get some fuel, some tires onto your ride, and you come back out of pit lane with this race lead. You know, how do you got to attack the rest of this race, knowing that we could see some pretty good green flag runs here, but at any moment in time, that big one can strike out there on the speedway?
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I don't really know what I'm doing at all. I'm just kind of piggybacking off my teammates. I'm just going to send it and see what happens. I figured the safest place to be is probably towards the front, but that might change depending on how racy these guys get. I just want to have fun, man.
Absolutely. Well, so far it's been looking like you guys have been having a lot of fun, man. Working yourselves up to the front of the field, and that's always a risky job in itself, trying to find different lanes, trying to work together, and try to push each other to the front of the field. And you never know when you're sitting there in that middle of the pack, and you see 15 cars in front of you, 15 cars behind you. Anything can happen and strike at any moment. You know what's going through your mind there as you guys are working yourselves up and past a lot of these drivers to get yourselves to the front of the field after starting deep in the pack.
What's going through my mind is, God, I hope I don't wreck, or God, I hope I don't wreck my teammates. I haven't really driven these cars and never on a plate track like this. I've never seen runs that are so massive, and the checkups on the bottom lane is just insane. It's a blast though. I'm learning every lap, trying to see what the top guys in here are doing. But like I said, man, my mindset is just don't kill anybody, and hopefully I'll be all right.
Absolutely. Trying to stay out of trouble, have a car here for late in the race, and maybe keep yourself right here in this position at the front of the field and down into victory lane. But we got a lot of laps left to go. Good luck out there, Clark, and hopefully we'll see you up here in the broadcast booth as the dust settles here at Talladega.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, give it up there for Clark Jenkin as he is going to start as our race leader here on the restart as he's out in front. A good pit stop allowed him to get this race lead away from Jackson Glenn Austin and a pair of his teammates there at the front of the field as they've worked themselves up from the back to the front here. Each of them up 30-plus positions on the speedway, absolutely working themselves here to the front of the pack. And now that is a bit of a different strategy than we've seen a lot of these other drivers a little deeper in the field running. We've seen a lot of these guys taking the chances of, running deeper in the pack, not hanging there with that lead group and kind of just chilling back here, a couple seconds behind our top 30 or so drivers and, playing that extra safe game of laying back and just trying to be there at the end. And that could be the winning move. It could be the winning move to try to just stay at the front of the field and stay in front of any of the wrecks that may unfold back there behind you. But we've seen a lot of times wrecks start at the front of the field as we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing as the Geico restart zone down here just past the tri-oval as our start finish line, more towards corner one instead of middle of the racetrack here, like right there is down through the Geico restart zone. We do go back to green flag racing, and that's what makes this racetrack so much more unique, especially when you look at the super speedways we have here in the NASCAR schedule. You go to Daytona, you have that start finish line right there in the middle of the tri-oval where we see so many great finishes, but we see so many good finishes and so many big wrecks through the tri-oval on the closing laps there, going to that start finish line down towards corner number one. And we've seen 3-4 wide photo finishes here at Talladega, and I'm assuming tonight may not be any different as we see that 42 getting a great restart. His teammates all lined up right there behind him. They're going to try to stay nose to tail here throughout the rest of the evening and trying to just keep themselves at the front of the pack and out of trouble here on the speedway, but they got to be careful. They don't want to cause a wreck themselves between them, and especially here at the front of the field as that could tear up a lot of drivers in a quick hurry as Clark Jenkin out in front. Alec Martinez there in second. Jackson Glenn Austin there in third with Josh Small and Daryl Young Jr. there in position number 5. Then we see Matt Swoop there in 6th, Christian Angel there in 7th, Todd Merkel, Justin Bentley, Brett Patterson rounding out our top 10 here on the speedway is Clay Cantrell, Caleb Ramsey, Kerry Klein, Fred Anderson, Mark Miller, our top 15 here on the speedway. You can throw in now Bradley King, Kevin Haas, Steve Tucker, all right there in this lead pack battle as Dale Miller slides back to the 19th spot. A little bit of a gap now, about a second between the top 20 here on the racetrack, back to the number 83 ride of William Burton, the 57 of AJ Cruz, the 4 ride of Corey Rainey, Storm Patterson, all right there, as well as Joshua Yarborough, Justin Lewis, Curtis Miller, Derek Catt, Mike Martino, Anthony Galatoni, Charles Van Schaik out there in that 31st position. Wesley Donaldson right there with them. Zachary Nerney there as well as Nerney there in position number 33. Then the number 04 of Christian Practor there in position number 34 on the speedways. Practor back in 34th here. No drafting help right now, so this is a tough spot for Practor on the speedway as he doesn't have a whole lot of help here with him. A big gap in front of him, and then we see Jay Stinson a little farther back here for Jay. Jay is unfortunately at risk of going a lap down here himself as just no push and help. Same with the 40 ride of Chase Greer. These drivers deeper in the field, they got to get tied together and work together here towards the front of the field as see Brian Huntley Jr. out there on the speedway here. He's at the back of this pack here as well. We also saw, unfortunately, Thomas Sincor go off the speedway. Bradley Steffen also not make it onto the track, and Luke Cup also not onto the racetrack here to start this race, and they have yet to join the field here as a little bit broken up deeper in the pack here. Drivers sitting in some tough situations and at risk of possibly going a lap down if we see this go clean and green for multiple laps here on the speedway as they are way off the pace. They are a few seconds slower than the rest of the drivers out here in these big packs, so they're going to have to try to find some speed in a quick hurry to keep themselves on the lead lap, or they're going to have to try to hope for a caution flag. Is at the front of the field. We get another new race leader is out in front. Christian Angel to the point here. So Christian Angel out in front on the outside lane. You see the 88 of Clay Cantrell and the MNT Motorsports number 88 leading the inside lane down on the bottom side here. So a couple new drivers leading these rows as things getting a little bit more broken up here. Almost a little 3 wide here towards the front of the field as these drivers doing a fantastic job as once again our top 20 split up here. Storm Patterson back there in the 20th position, him AJ Cruz, and you do see the 3 ride sliding back to them as well. So our top 17 in that lead pack, and then everyone else back here in another little battle here, another little pack back there behind them. So kind of 2 different races rolling on the speedway right now, but the main race is at the front of the field, and that is the 60 ride of Christian Angel, who continues to lead the way. You can see a great look right there at the difference there of these packs and where these drivers are on the speedway, as each pack kind of controlling their own fate out there on the speedway. As we can have a big wreck here in this lead pack, we can see a big wreck back here in the second pack on the speedway as well. So this driver's going to have to be very, very careful. You see both packs very racy, very competitive out there on the speedways. They continue to battle, 2, 3 wide throughout each of these packs. I figured this backpack here would kind of settle down a little bit, maybe take things a little bit safer, maybe go a little bit more single file and try to just keep themselves out of trouble from anything that may unfold towards the front of the field. But they are still being very, very racy back there. But there's a big gap between our top 17 and our bottom 18, or our bottom half of the field here. There's about 4 seconds between the 17 ride of Justin Bentley here in that number 16 machine as he's rolling in the 17th position. About 4 seconds between himself and AJ Cruz, who leads that second pack on the speedway. So taking it safe, taking it easy. We'll have to wait and see if drivers just tend to try to get these packs back together, see if we see a caution flag and how this race plays out, or if we see this go clean and green. When does pit strategy start to become a factor in this feature event? When do we see drivers have to make, possibly green flag pit stops? We did just see them come down pit side, get fuel, and topped up there during that last caution break. So we can expect them to probably go another, 20 laps or so here on this run before we start to see green flag pit stops come out and about here for all these drivers. As James Garland coming in with the like on the stream, my boy Jake Stefanski coming in with that share on the broadcast as well as the heart reaction. Anthony Garland coming in with that share on the stream as well over there on Facebook. I appreciate that, Anthony. I appreciate you coming in, showing the love in this one as well. Mr. Stefanski and Joey Lamb coming in with that like on the broadcast. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button, as we're going to jump into a quick Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, crank up that volume and cheer on your favorite driver as we crank it up here on Peacemaker Gaming. yellow flag out here for the second time. Caution on the racetrack here. Yellow flag number 2 going to get displayed here during our Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up here. Give it up for all these drivers, giving us a good look at the sights and sounds around Talladega Super Speedway as we do see our second yellow flag being displayed. Is this one a little deeper in the field? I do believe we didn't see any smoke or cars going around here, so I'm not sure. There it is right there. It does look like the number... Ooh, that looked like it was the 45 ride getting up into the outside fence of Storm Patterson right here. Let's take another look at this one and see what happens, as looks like Patterson kind of just running out of room, and unfortunately a bad push from Kevin Haas right here. They just kind of get tied together. Brian Huntley Jr. right there in that as well. The 45 bent out of shape. It's the 3 machine. Goes for a loop-de-loop. The 45 hard up into the outside fence. The Tyler Reddick paint scheme right there up hard into the corner 1 wall. Heavy damage there for Kevin Haas as well, as Haas gets quite a bit of contact. Quite a bit of damage right there. Let's see if we take another look at this one as our second yellow flag on the day. Just looks like he's trying to come down. Getting in behind the 45 was not clear of that 34, and as he comes down over the nose of the 34, Ryan kind of just gets the 45 bent out of shape, and that's what puts Patterson up into the outside fence. A good piece of driving there by Joshua Yarborough and Curtis Miller, both able to get around that, but quite a bit of damage there to the outside of the 3 machine, as well as a couple tough hits there on the racetrack for Kevin Haas and for the number 45 of Storm Patterson there, as well as see if we can jump right on board here with Storm Patterson. Take a look here from the cockpit of this 45 ride. Is just gets that nudge, and just that car gets out bent out of shape. He was just hanging on, and unfortunately quite a bit of right side damage there for him. Hopefully not too much damage. We can get that car fixed up and back out there onto the speedway as drivers once again back down pit side here. So drivers coming down pit road, getting some work done, making sure their cars are ready to rock and roll here for the second restart of the evening, as we'll wait and see. Looks like Dale Miller, first car off of pit lane. So Dale Miller out in front here. Alec Martinez going to come out in second. Darrell Young Jr. coming out in third, with Clay Cantrell and Matt Swoop rounding out our top 5 here off of pit lane, as Dale Miller with a quick pit stop here puts himself at the front of the field. So to wait and see if Dale Miller can hang on to this race lead, as we still got a lot of laps left to go here. Only 30 laps done on this evening. So we got a lot of racing. Still 40 laps of battling out here at Talladega Super Speedway before the end of this feature event. We'll take a look here and see if we can pull the number 8 ride up here into the broadcast booth here, as Dale Miller going to get ready for a restart here himself at the front of the field. See if Dale is in the Discord. I do not see him in there, so unfortunately doesn't look like we can get Dale in here. Let's see if we can get one of these other drivers in here. Alright, let's see if we can pull Justin Bentley in here. He's running that beautiful Scott Bloomquist, the Bloomer ride, MNT Motorsports machine. Let's see if we can get this Scott Bloomquist inspired paint scheme number 16 ride up here into the broadcast booth here, and see what Justin's thoughts are on the race so far, and on, unfortunately, us losing Scott Bloomquist. Hey Justin, it's Aaron up here on the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. To get a copy?
Yes, sir.
Justin, man, a beautiful looking paint scheme here. We see you got that Scott Bloomquist inspired ride in the memory of Scott Bloomquist here on the evening, man. Take us, not only through, the race so far for yourself, but what it means to be, able to, sport this beautiful paint scheme and have such an amazing legend in the dirt community right on board here with you.
Yeah, man, it means a lot. He was a legend to the sport, to motorsports in general, not just to. You can't narrow it down to any sport. Everybody knows Scott Bloomquist, and just have an inspired paint scheme honoring him, that means a lot. Yeah, it's a good race so far. Just trying to get on the right side of strategy. Like to see how it plays out here.
Absolutely. Always, on your tippy toes here at one of the super speedways. You never know when the big one's going to strike, but so far you've been able to keep yourself out of trouble, keep that beautiful 16 ride pointed in the right direction, and hopefully, we saw one Bloomquist-inspired paint scheme early in the evening go to victory lane. Maybe we'll see 2 for 2 here for the Bloomer rides. Get down to victory lane here on this solemn Friday evening, but beautiful paint scheme. We thank you for having Bloomer on that car, and as I said, such a pillar, such a driving force in motorsports everywhere and fans around the world. Mourning the loss of Scott Bloomquist here this evening, but thank you for sporting the beautiful paint scheme and having him and his spirit right on board with you here tonight.
Yeah, man, appreciate it.
Absolutely. Good luck out there, and hopefully we'll see you back up here in the broadcast booth at the end of the evening.
Let's do it. Thank you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, get up there for Justin Bentley as he sports that number 16 ride, the Bloomer machine out there on the speedway. He's going to get ready to go back to Green Flag Racing. He's a little deeper in the field right now. Not the best, pit stop or anything else, but kind of sitting mid-pack, keeping himself out of trouble, sitting in that 13th position and ready to put that hammer down and work himself in the Bloomquist ride. There to the front of the field is the paint scar, going to make that hard left-hand turn. Back down pit side, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you guys are tuning in, make sure you guys do us a favor, hit the like button on the broadcast, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button if you're watching over on YouTube as we get ready to go back to Green Flag Racing as Dale Miller, Alec Martinez 1 and 2 on the speedway. We'll see the green flag fly here once again at Talladega Super Speedway. Miller with a big restart right there. Not a lot of push and help there to his back bumper, but he's going to quickly slide up in front of the 43 machine. Oh, Martinez going to pull one over on him. Was going to go to his back bumper, but decides to jump up to the outside lane, leave the 8 right a little high and dry. Then he'll stack things up down low, but the outside lane, not a whole lot of help right now, but here you go. The 19 ride is going to jump up there. Jackson, Glenn, Austin going to jump up to the outside groove here. All that team out there working well together as the MNT Motorsports 88 ride of Clay Cantrell sitting in second, pushing the Family Dollar 43 ride to the front of the field. But here comes that inside lane, a big shove from the 71 ride of Darrell Young Jr. as they kind of get work together, and here you go. Things are going to separate more down through the tri-oval. Dale Miller looking to the outside, can't quite get there. They're going to go a little 3, almost 4 wide here, down across the line as Christian Angel pushes the 71 ride of Darrell Young Jr. to the front of the field. Darrell Young Jr. out in front as now you see Alec Martinez jumping down to the inside lane as a bit of a dogfight right here up inside of our top 12 here on the racetrack as Caleb Ramsey there in 11th, Dale Miller there in 12th. A bit of a gap room here again as you see Tori Rainey back there in the 4 ride sitting in position number 13, getting a big shove from Steve Tucker. Tucker right there, Charles Van Schaten right there as well in the 00 ride, trying to get the GOAT Racing ride, the GOAT diecast machine, to the front of the field. And see Anthony Calatoni right there, the 44 ride of Kerry Klein, Joshua Yarborough, Bradley King, AJ Cruz, our top 20 here on the speedway. Is this pack trying to work themselves towards the front of the field here? And we may see for one of the first times here, we may see a majority of this field kind of all together. We do see Jay Stinson and the 34 ride and the 75 ride of Mike Martino kind of back here as well. They've kind of lost that lead draft with the 3 cars trying to work together, but now Jay Stinson going to go outside lane here, and that's going to hurt them even more, trying to figure out to try to pick up some of this draft. But you see more drivers starting to slide backwards here, maybe trying to pick them up, trying to help them out, or trying to play it a little bit safer as Josh Small sliding backwards here. He's going to look to get picked up here by that 34 ride. We'll see Chris Campbell there as well, slow on the speedway here, deeper in the field in the 68 as, ooh baby, things are picking up here. Ladies and gentlemen, things are starting to build up, the intensity starting to become a little bit more, a little bit more risky. These moves are starting to become bigger and harder to pull off, and this pack's starting to get bigger and bigger as well as more and more drivers trying to work themselves to the front of the field. You see 3 wide there just outside of our top 8 on the speedway, as I do believe that is the 84 ride of Anthony Galatoni, one of our championship hopefuls, trying to roll that inside, or the middle lane, jumps down to the inside lane here, but he was right there trying to make something happen as that middle lane trying to get rolling here. And we can see 3 wide racing towards the front of the field. This could make for an absolutely amazing rest of this race. Unfortunately for the 42 ride of Clark Jenkin, he is going to get slid back here. He is going to fall all the way back to the 27, but he'll leave him high and dry and jump up to the high side once again in front of Dale Miller. So drivers just picking and choosing where they're going to make these moves, how they're going to make this happen. And whether or not we're going to see 3 lanes solidly get collected here, or if we see 2 lanes kind of start to pull away and have that middle lane evaporate, but the 27 ride really try to make it work. Same with Corey Rainey. Rainey, though, is going to jump up to the high side here, but the 27 of Patterson sitting right there in that middle groove, not giving up on it, trying to find some more help, trying to get some more drivers there with him, as Proctor right there on his back bumper, as Proctor in the 04 ride will join the 27 down here in the middle lane. The 42 now of Jenkin will jump down there as well. They're going to go 3, 4, almost 5 wide here through the tri-oval. It's a big run and a big move there out of the 45 ride. My gosh, the 45 out of nowhere making moves as Storm Patterson was not sitting back there. Jumped up and on top of that one and worked past about 5 cars through that tri-oval. Got very, very tight, but puts himself up inside the top 20 now on the speedway. As there you see the 19 ride Jackson Glenn Austin now being shoved into the middle here himself. He's going to slide back a little bit and jump up to the high side lane as drivers continue to move around the speedway. Drivers continuously getting shuffled in and out of these lines. And we see some great racing here at the front of the field. These guys putting on one heck of a show for us, but out in front, Matt Swoop leading the way here. Swoop in the beautiful number 01 machine, leading this field with Todd Merkel right there in position number 2. The MNT Motorsports number 88 of Clay Cantrell there in third is the 94 of Fred Anderson. There in position number 5, he's got Kerry Klein and Anthony Galatoni right there on the inside lane. And then we see that 5 ride of Caleb Ramsey now leading the way in this outside groove. The 07 making himself a way back to the front of the field here. That is Justin Lewis there inside the top 10 once again, but kind of stuck here in the middle groove. But looks like the middle line gonna kind of try to pick him up through the middle of the corner here, but we're going to continue to see these drivers shuffle around, continue to make moves out there on the speedway. We just got to kind of take it all in and appreciate what these drivers are doing out here. This is some very close, tight racing, a lot of shuffling around. Any moment in time, we can see one driver. All it takes is one driver, one wrong push, one wrong move, and we can see that big one happen here on the speedway, whether it's in the middle of this pack or at the front of this pack. They're racing hard enough that it could happen anywhere, and we could see an abundance of drivers get tied up in it. We've seen before here at Talladega, 15, 20, 30 cars all get tied up in one big wreck. And when we look through this top pack, we see over 30 drivers in this field right here, 30 drivers in this pack battling out there on the racetrack. You see the 30 rider Kevin Haas is the last driver in this lead pack. He's sitting in the 31st position. So our 31st driver on the field sitting there at the back of this pack, and he's only sitting about a second and a bit behind our race leader right now on the speedway. So between first to 31st, about a second and a half here on the speedway. So it just shows you how tight the racing is, as we've seen a few drivers call it a evening here, as I do believe a few more drivers deeper in this pack running into issues. We see Chris Campbell back here in the 68 ride. You see the 39 of Josh Small right there with them. The 34 of Brian Huntley Jr. They have lost that lead draft, but they're trying to just stick together, keep the pace up here, and not fall too far behind where they'd be at risk of going a lap down. Then we also saw, Jay Stinson, unfortunately, off the speedway. We saw, I believe, William Burton out of this race as well. Chad Coleman as well out of the race. And a lot of drivers, unfortunately, out of this one. And the 75 of Mike Martino back here in position number 34 here. He is the last driver on the lead lap, but he may be the first driver to go one lap down here on the speedway, as he's currently out there. He's got no push and help. He's about 3.5 seconds, 4 seconds slower than our race leaders here, all by himself in the Dunkaroos number 75 ride. And our lead back is going to be catching him in a quick hurry here, especially if we stay clean and green for another 5-10 laps. He may be at risk of going a lap down. Luckily enough, if he does go a lap down, he will be in that free pass position. And right now, it's Jay Stinson who's in the free pass spot on the speedway, as Jay is out there on the speedway. So good to see Jay still rolling out there on the track, as he was off the speedway there for a little bit, but jumping back out there. Now we see, oh, the 75 running into issues all by himself here. Mike Martino, unfortunately, going around here kind of by himself out here on the racetrack. I'm not sure what happened to him, but just broke down there on the bottom side of the racetrack there. He was blinking for a little bit, and then all of a sudden ended up into the outside and inside wall there. So no caution flag for him. We stay clean and green as you see the one ride falling backwards here in a quick hurry. That's Steve Tucker. Tucker got shuffled to the extreme outside there, and unfortunately slides from up inside the top 10 all the way back now into about the 27th position. We also saw the 4 ride of Corey Rainey just get up into the outside wall as well. So the 4 ride, the Reese's Pieces machine, will slide back here as well, just outside the top 30's contact. Tucker into the wall. Caution flag not yet on the speedway as they continue to bounce around back here. They stay clean and green. There it is. Caution flag now on the racetrack. Caution flag now on the speedway here, as fortunately for Steve Tucker, heavy damage here for that number 1 right. See that tow link looks like it's busted as that car is crammed walking down the back straightaway. We'll take a look back and see how this all got started, as just a little contact down into corner number 1. They're about 4 wide here as Corey Rainey up on the high side. Steve Tucker not going with them. You see, that's Anthony Calatoni right there as well. Hopefully not too much damage for Calatoni. That's one of our championship hopefuls here, as go 4 wide into corner number 1, and then they just kind of run out of room here. And it looks like Calatoni in the 70 ride gonna be the first 2 to make contact here. Let's see if we can get another look at this one. Another angle right here as Calatoni in that number 84 ride, in the 70 ride of Curtis Miller. Down here on the bottom side of the racetrack, looks like the 84 kind of coming down a little bit, the 70 coming up there just ever so slightly. They get tied together, and that puts the 70 right up into the 1 ride of Steve Miller. Heavy contact for both of those drivers as they come together. You see Kevin Haas and Yarborough also getting collected in that one as they come in there with a whole head of steam. But then the 1 ride and this 70 ride, they continue to keep on bouncing. The 3 machine up there as well, get up into the outside fence here, and you see the 3 ride go around. The 70 ride of Curtis Miller keeping his foot in the throttle, trying to push him back straight there as 2 drivers tore up here deeper in the field, and that's not the way they wanted things to go here, as they wanted to keep themselves out of trouble by staying a little deeper in the pack, and unfortunately they find each other and create quite a bit of chaos here. Let's see if we can get another look at this one and what happened here between these 2 drivers at the front of the field as Calatoni and Curtis Miller get tied together. Up the racetrack goes the 70 into the 1 ride. Heavy contact there for him, and they see the 3 machine heavy damage, the 70 ride heavy damage there as well as 1 ride. Luckily enough, the 3 drivers back there behind him able to get onto the binders quick enough to not get tied up into it, as about 4 or 5 cars with some pretty extensive damage there in that caution flag as our 3rd yellow has been displayed, and drivers will take themselves down pit side, and we will see all these drivers make some quick green or caution flag pit stops. And it looks like the 07 of Justin Lewis gonna come out of pit side all by himself there, just a couple car lengths in front of Christian Angel. So Justin Lewis to the point here. Angel out in 2nd, Darrell Young Jr. in 3rd, Justin Bentley there in 4th with Todd Merkel, Christian Proctor there in 6th, Brad Patterson, Fred Anderson, Alec Martinez, Clark Jenkin, our top 10 here on the speedway. But Justin Lewis is going to be our race leader out of the pits here on the evening. Great pit stop there for the 07 crew. It's Joey Gattina. Joey coming in, showing the love here on the broadcast. How are you, Joey, coming in? Smashing that thumbs up on the broadcast. My boy Tim Christensen Jr. coming in with that like as well here as Joey and Tim both coming in, showing the love here this evening. Smashing that thumbs up on the broadcast, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. If you guys haven't already, hit that like button. Make sure you do hit the thumbs up on the broadcast. Hit the share, hit that follow, and if you're watching over on YouTube, make sure you smash that subscribe button as we work on 1,000 subscribers over on the YouTube channel. And if you're tuning in over on Facebook and you haven't yet went and showed us the love over on YouTube, we'll drop the YouTube link over there into the Facebook chat and over into the Twitch chat as well. If you guys want to jump over and show us the love and try to help us hit our goal of 1,000 subscribers over on YouTube, as we'll get them stacked up, racked up, and ready to go back to Green Flag Racing here in this one, as we'll get ready to see if we can pull this 07 ride up into the broadcast booth here. We'll take our race leader here at this caution break once again up into the booth. Let's see if we can get Justin Lewis up here. Sure, if we can find Justin out there. There he is. All right, let's see if we can get Justin Lewis up here into the booth. Hey, Justin, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. They get a copy?
Hold on, the race controller's yelling at us. Yeah, go ahead. What's up, man?
Not much, Justin, man. A good run so far. We saw you kind of at the front of the field early in the race. You kind of hung out there for a little bit in that middle pack there for a little while throughout this one, but now you find yourself pushing back towards the front of the field. A good pit stop, and you're in control here for this restart with only about 22 more laps left to go when we go back to Green Flag Racing, man. What's going through your mind here, knowing that you got that points championship you're working towards and everything else, and this is a very, very, make or break race right here for your championship.
Yeah, we've been in this position way too many times before to say, well, this is this is over yet for us. Like we got plenty of time. So all in all, I think we just need to try to maintain our track position. Kind of got shuffled around there early in the race and got pinned up a little bit and got put in the middle and sent us to the back. And then it's been a dogfight to get back up here, but oddly enough, what put me to the back also brought me back to the front there toward the end of that, where that caution came out. So, all in all, just try to keep it clean, and hopefully we can keep ahead of our guys that were racing for the championship here. But yeah, we'll want to just kind of see what happens, and hopefully we'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely. Hopefully you can survive out there. Hopefully you stay out of all the contact and mayhem that may unfold here in the rest of the race. Justin, good luck out there on the speedway, and hopefully we'll see you back up here in the broadcast booth in just a little bit.
Thank you, brother.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, give it up there for the 07 of Justin Lewis as he jumps up here for a little in-race interview there as he is down in the race lead, and he's going to get ready for this restart. He's got the 71 of Daryl Young Jr. right there on his back bumper. Daryl's been able to shove quite a few drivers here to the front of the field, so if you're going to have someone behind you that will help you towards the front of the pack, this 71 ride may be the driver to get you there, especially late in this race, as Justin Lewis going to look for a big shove here in this race lead as down through the Geico restart zone we go back to battle here at Talladega Super Speedway. There's that good shove and the good restart between the 07 and the 71, but the 71 going to leave him high and dry and jump to the outside. So Daryl Young Jr. looking to take this race lead away from Justin Lewis, as Lewis will get lined back up here. His teammate there in the Merkel Racing Engines numbers 2 ride will go right there to his back bumper as the outside lane. Now it's Daryl Young Jr. leading the way as Christian Angel there on his back bumper. When do we start to see some more moves? We start to see a couple drivers peek into the middle lane here, shuffling around a little deeper in the field. When do we see them trying to go 3, maybe 4 wide here towards the front of the field? When will the race-winning move happen out here on the speedway? Do we see it, during a green, white, checkered finish? Do we see this race go clean and green the rest of the way here? Or do we see the big one happen on the speedway? And when does the big one happen? Does it happen on the final lap? Does it happen here within the next 20 laps or so before we see the white flag fly on the speedway? There's so many variables into this one. You can see this pack just all right there stacked on top of each other as you see the 04 ride of Christian Proctor right there trying to work that middle groove here as he's got the Mud Duck Racing Sweet Victory Apparel Majula Speed Shop number 5 ride going to his back bumper. That's Caleb Ramsey, who's now going to leave him high and dry and jump to the outside lane. So Ramsey will jump up there as now the 4 ride and the 0-4 going to come together as here comes Corey Rainey going to try to get that middle groove roll in here as he reels in the Despicable Me number 0-4 ride as the 4 is working together there on the speedway as they work right in between Dale Miller and the 0-0 ride of Charles Sheerick out there on the speedway as front of the field, Daryl Young Jr. leading the way. Christian Angel sticking right there with him. You'll see Justin Bentley up there in that battle inside the top 5. So good to see the Scott Bloomquist inspired 16 ride up there battling for this late race win as well and battling for what could be a championship here for a lot of these drivers. A lot of these guys are right in the middle of things here for the championship. Brantley, one of those drivers in contention. Justin Lewis as well. And then the 84 ride of Anthony Galatoni close in that fight for the championship here in the series. Back there in position number 15 on the speedway. But a lot of times it's not quite about, if you can kind of keep yourself clean or pick up as many points. It's about just kind of surviving out there. Honestly, even if you lose some points here to your championship counterparts, it's going to be worth it because you just want to kind of survive and minimize the incidences here on the evening. And right now, they're all kind of sitting in dangerous positions out there on the speedway. Anywhere on the speedway is a dangerous position except for a little farther back. As there you go, contact! Around goes the 91 ride. The 91 of Wesley Donaldson goes for a loop-de-loop. The caution flag will fly, and I believe that is our 4th caution flag on the evening that is going to fly here. As looks like a single car spin. Doesn't look like much other contact here, but we did see quite a bit of jostling around here. It's the 91 ride, so he's the blue-black car here. As you do see the 84 and 11, they both go down onto the apron. So I'm assuming they just got a couple bad shoves here and jump down to the apron as things kind of stack up there a little bit. The 11 ride goes to the apron, the 84 does as well. And I think that kind of just gets the 91 guessing whether or not there's a wreck happening here. As Calatoni gets to his back bumper, the 91 kind of goes down below the yellow line. The 88 still on his back bumper as he's getting pushed as well from Fred Anderson. Unfortunately, all that kinetic energy going to the back bumper of the 91 just in the wrong spot. Gets him turned around, backs it up into the outside fence there. Quite a bit of damage there for the 91 machine, but luckily enough, doesn't look like anyone else really getting collected in this one or having any major issues. So like a single car spin, the 91 goes for a loop-de-loop, a quick caution flag, and we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing as at the front of the field, it is the 60 ride of Christian Angel who leads the way here. Alec Martinez, Jackson, Glenn Austin, Justin Lewis, Clark Jenkin, our top 5 here on the speedway with Todd Merkel, Storm Patterson, Daryl Young Jr., Brett Patterson, and Justin Bentley, our top 10 here on the racetrack as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, and ready to go back to green flag racing. No takers here down pit side. We do see Jay Stinson headed back down here himself, so Stinson will come back down pit side looking to get some more repairs done to the 98 ride. Still a little bit of damage there for him. See Charles Van Schaik in the GOAT Racing diecast ride heading down pit side as well. The 0-0 ride down pit road. Fred Anderson making that pit stop. We see Joshua Yarborough, Wesley Donaldson down pit side, Chris Campbell down pit road. You still see Steve Tucker down pit side getting the 1 ride repaired and back together as he's currently scored in the 32nd position. Curtis Miller still with a ton of damage down pit road here. He is in left pit road in a little while as Kevin Haas off the speedway. I do believe Brian Huntley Jr. still rolling out there. Multiple laps down from early in the race, missing the start of this feature event. And then I do believe Mike Martino, William Burton, Chad Coleman all off the racetrack as well. As we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, and are ready to go back to green flag racing. Out in front, it's Christian Angel who leads the way here. Christian Angel out in front, showing these drivers way around the speedway here during this caution break, as we're going to take a quick caution break ourselves. We don't have any commercials here for the series, but we're going to give a quick shout out to one of our big series and one of our other amazing sponsors here with the Peacemaker family. We're going to give a shout out here to Scary Strokes. The Scary Strokes coming in, as my money says that Pace Car will be logging a few more laps. Yeah, definitely would be. That Wicked pack is playing safe. Yeah, that second pack definitely playing it safe out there, Anthony. 100%, brother. As we're going to get Scary Strokes up here for a little in-race commercial break here for everyone to enjoy. To check out Scary Strokes and everything they have to offer.
Strokes, where fun meets fright, where every experience transports you to a world of fun. Play 18 holes of blacklight mini-golf in ancient Egypt, a haunted house, and beyond the grave. Step inside our virtual reality arena, where you take control of video games and virtual worlds. Battle robots, shoot zombies, and compete against your friends. Throw your next birthday with our VIP Party Pack. Our party pros are ready to entertain you with a fright fest you'll never forget. Perfect for an action-packed date night full of flirty fun. Our state-of-the-art arcade has the latest games with the coolest prizes. Be sure to feast on some tasty morsels in the Graveyard Grill. So come on, bring your ghoulish gang over to Scary Strokes, where every experience matters. Welcome to Scary Strokes.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, as we're going to get ready to go back to Green Flag Racing here with the iRacing MNT Cup Series. Here for our second to last race of the season. Only one more race left to go after this one. So championship hopes, championships on the line here for a lot of these competitors. Whether or not it's trying to move up a couple more spots, whether or not it's trying to put yourself into that championship position on the speedway right now. As out in front of the championship standings, it is the 84 rider Anthony Calatoni. He does have that points championship lead as we get ready to go back to Green Flag Racing. The number 60 rider Christian Angel ready to see that green flag fly. He is ready to put that hammer down, as down low to his inside, the 43 of Alec Martinez there in second, as Jackson Glenn Austin, the 07 of Justin Lewis right there in position number 2, a little bit broken up on the outside lane. They're gonna have to try to get tight together here as the inside lane. Oh, contact! Justin Lewis trying to make the move down through the infield. This is going to really shuffle things up as he comes back out onto the racetrack. Oh, baby. This is going to hurt that 07 as he is sliding backwards farther and farther. Hopefully he can catch this draft down the back straightaway with some of these other drivers, as that really broke up this field in a quick hurry, as things a little bit more separated now, as some drivers were definitely getting onto the brake pedals trying to stay out and avoid what might have been the big one there through corner 1 and 2. Luckily enough, Justin Lewis able to keep that car pointed in the right direction for the most part off the speedway and out of additional trouble there on the racetrack. Is out in front, Christian Angel leads the way. Jackson Glenn Austin and Darrell Young Jr. there in the top 3 spots. You see the 16 rider Justin Bentley trying to work himself now into the race lead, but he's got no help here with him on the bottom lane. No one's coming with them. Everyone's staying kind of glued there on the outside. We'll see if anyone jumps down. There you go. Dale Miller going to jump down in front of the 16 right. Here comes the 71. He'll jump down there as well, but he is quite a ways ahead, but we do see the caution flag fly. So the caution flag does come back out here in this one. So the yellow flag being displayed once again as this is just going to build that intensity up even more out here on the speedway, as I believe Chris Campbell possibly running into some issues here. Looks like him and Proctor coming together, and the 34 ride of Bentley in there as well. Some damage for him, some damage for the 91 ride of Wesley Donaldson. Another look at it. See how this one kind of gets started. It looks like contact between the 11 of Bradley King and the 04 ride of Christian Proctor here. It looks like they kind of get together, and as they do, oh, it looks like actually the 21 ride of Derek Cack gets hard into the bumper of the 04, and then the 11 ride gets into the 04 ride. So Proctor kind of just getting pinballed around right there, puts the 34 up into the fence, spins the Pat Tank number 68 ride around here and over the front nose of that 04 ride, and then you see the 68 back up the speedway. Chris Campbell hard up into Brian Hartley Jr. Nowhere to go for the 91 ride of Wesley Donaldson, as unfortunately cautions breeding cautions here, and Wesley Donaldson just nowhere to go, hanging on, trying to stay out of it. Unfortunately finds himself right in the middle of another mess here on the speedway. We'll take a look here on board Donaldson's ride as sees this happening right in front of him, trying to get onto the binders, out of the throttle. Unfortunately, could not get checked up quick enough. Just a little bit of contact there between him and the 68 ride. Could have been a whole lot worse, but luckily enough, just a little bit of a nudge. As we'll get him ready to rock and roll. We'll get him stacked up, racked up, and ready to go back to Green Flag Racing once again. As right now, Anthony Calatoni with the points championship here. He's got an 11-point lead between himself and Justin Lewis. So Lewis is 11 points behind Anthony Calatoni, and right there behind Justin Lewis is the 88 ride of Clay Cantrell. Cantrell is only 13 points back of our points leader here. So drivers that we've seen up throughout the front of the field, drivers that have been in the thick of things, is right now you see the 88 of Cantrell back here in the 21st position. He's actually going to move around a lot of drivers here. I'm not sure if he's going to get a spot back up in front of these guys. Is the 84 of Anthony Calatoni. He's back there as well, and same with Justin Lewis, who's actually down pit side getting some work done to that Merkel Racing Engines JL Racing 07 ride. So three of our championship drivers currently right now outside of the top 15 on the speedway. So we'll have to wait and see if they can find themselves a way to the front of the field. Or out of trouble as Dale Miller sitting fourth in the points right now. So Dale Miller sitting fourth. Mike Peters in the fifth spot. No Mike Peters here on the speedway this evening. That's one of those drivers that were missing out there on the racetrack. So a tough break for Mike Peters, currently sitting fifth in points. He's about 55 points behind our race leaders. But that battle between 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, even 8th right in there, kind of all tied together. Very, very close in points there. Our front three close in points. Everyone else kind of tight into the points battle there as well. So it's going to be interesting to see, you know, how this is all going to play out, when the dust is going to settle here at Talladega Super Speedway, and who's going to be able to come out of this with maybe the points lead, maybe a new points leader going into our final race of the season next week at Charlotte Motor Speedway. So things could wind up being very, very interesting here late in the evening here for our points championship. We'll get these drivers stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to Green Flag Racing here in just a little bit. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, who are you guys cheering on out here? Let us know in the comment section right now. Who do you want to see in victory lane? Who do you want to see pick up the win here this evening, as it's still really anyone's race? Anyone really inside the top 30 out there on the racetrack has an opportunity to pick up the win here this evening, with still, you know, 13 laps left to go, 12 more this time by the start finish line. When we go back to Green Flag Racing, there'll still be double-digit laps here before this checkered flag. So a lot of time for drivers to try to navigate themselves around the speedway, try to work themselves to the front of the field. And our champion of this race, our race winner, may still be, you know, a little farther back in the pack here. As you do see the 77 ride, he is still on the lead lap, back in 31st, trying to catch up to the rear of the field here before we go back to Green Flag Racing, as Curtis Miller First driver lap down out there on the speedway. I do believe he is multiple laps down. Same with Steve Tucker, both drivers multiple laps down out there on the speedway. Brian Hartley Jr., who just got collected in that yellow flag. Heavy damage for him once again down pit side, but multiple laps down. Kevin Haas, Mike Martino, Chad Coleman out there on the speedway still rolling, but a lot of laps down here for that 15 ride as the AC Delco machine rejoins the field here. William Burton off the racetrack. Thomas Cinco out there off the speedway. Luke Cup and Bradley Stefan also off the speedway as we'll get ready to go back to battle here in this one. A lot of drivers already out of this race, but there is still 30-plus drivers in contention here for this checkered flag at Talladega Super Speedway. It's anyone's race. It can take a lap or two to work yourself from the rear of the field to the front of the pack, and we're going to get ready to see how this all plays out as the lights are off the official iRacing pace car, and we're going to go back to battle here as Christian Angel once again lined up here. Nose to tail with the 71 of Darrell Young Jr. is the outside lane. You see the 19 of Jackson Glenn Austin. He's kind of up there. Not a whole lot of teammates with him right now at this point. He has a couple a little farther back there, but we'll have to wait and see if he can find himself a way up towards the front of the field. As Benjamin coming in, showing the love, says, Brantley, love your paints, man. Thank you. Yeah, Brantley makes some amazing paint schemes, some wicked fast-looking rides out there on the speedway. The Harpoon Designs rides always looking very, very fresh out there on the racetrack. As out in front, we see one of them at the front of the field. Here's the Harpoons Racing Designs ride out in front. The racing team machine at the front of the field. That is Christian Angel, as he's looking to try to keep himself at the front of the pack here for the next 11 laps here on the speedway, which is going to be a tall task here with a lot of tough competitors back there behind him as the craziness is about to unfold here at Talladega Super Speedway. We'll take you back through one quick Peacemaker Gaming crank it up. So crank up that volume and cheer these drivers on as we crank it up here quickly on Peacemaker Gaming. It up, caution flag coming in full effect here in this one as the big one down through the tri-oval. A bunch of drivers tore up and destroyed here late in this race as the Peacemaker crank it up, creates the Peacemaker crank it up caution flag here as the caution flag coming back out late in this one. We'll take a look back and see what happened here as things were getting a little bit wild out there on the racetrack. We'll take a look here and see what happened. What brings this yellow flag out is there was a lot of contact, a lot of moving around here, and it seemed like there was a ton of drivers that just got absolutely destroyed down here through this tri-oval as keep an eye on Caleb Ramsey in the 5 ride. The yellow and purple ride here headed down into corner. The 40 rides having it tied together right there, and that's how this whole thing gets started as looks like the 5 trying to jump to the outside of the 40 machine of Chase Greer, and Greer unfortunately kind of just trying to keep him back there. I don't know if they kind of just get hooked together, but the 40 ride goes over the nose of the 5 hard into the inside wall. Then nowhere to go here for Kerry Klein. The 45 ride is Storm Patterson in there as well, and then things just get stacked up back here behind them as a lot of drivers getting tore up. You see the 45 up into the outside fence, the 10 right in there, Bradley King, and the 11 in there with some contact for him, the 91 of Wesley Donaldson, more contact there for Donaldson as the see the 21 of Derek Gatt down through the infield, the 94 of Anderson hopping down through the grass as well as drivers trying to work themselves through it. You see the 88 right, one of our championship contenders right there, trying to work himself through this. Clay Cantrell. Is Cantrell going to get a great look at this one? We'll take a look back and see what he can see here as we'll jump on board with this 88 ride and see what he sees here from the cockpit as one of our championship contenders. Going to get a good look in the back bumper here, but sees the smoke, then hears the contact, and then now it's a guessing game. Where do you go? How do you get through this? As contact all around him. Luckily enough, he just puts the car down on the apron, holds into the throttle, and able to keep himself out of trouble there. Heavy contact for the 44 ride right there in front of him. Kerry Klein, heavy damage for Storm Patterson. As Patterson here, he's going to get a big piece of this as well. As he's looking to try to go 3-4 wide here as he looks to the outside of the 44 ride. Things close up, and then all of a sudden, a little bit of damage right there. More contact hard up into the outside fence there for the 45 ride. Heavy damage for a lot of these competitors out there on the speedway. As tons of tore up race cars, tons of issues for a bunch of them, and man, a lot of tore up race cars here. We're not done yet. We've still got a lot of racing left to go, and a lot of cars left here on the racetrack, but tough break here for the 40 ride there as well, trying to work himself back up towards the front of the field. And Caleb Ramsey as well, his tough luck in the series continuing to happen here as well. As we'll get him ready to rock and roll. We'll get ready to go back to green flag racing as Christian Angel works the front of the field here. Darrell Young Jr., Jackson Glenn, Austin, Brett Patterson, Clark Jenkin, our top 5 out here on the speedway. So things are going to get pretty wild here, ladies and gentlemen. 7 laps left to go this next time by the start-finish line. We should see the green flag come back out around lap number 6. 6 laps left to go here, so it could be a 6-lap shootout to the checkered flag, but we may see multiple restarts here. We may see more caution flags fly on the evening as these drivers lap by lap by lap, the intensity continuing to build more and more and more, making things that much more intense for every single driver out there on the racetrack. And if they need to try to find their way to the front of the field here, it's going to get even tougher. When you look back at some of our championship drivers, you see Anthony Calatoni back here in position number 9 on the speedway. You take a little farther back, you take a look at the 88 rider Clay Cantrell, who was just able to avoid the contact there. He rolls in position number 25 here on the speedway, and right in front of him, one of our other championship drivers, the 07 of Justin Lewis, back here in 23rd. So for Lewis and Cantrell, they got to try to work themselves up and around the 84 rider, at least hope they can try to beat him on the evening, as that's the driver that they're most competing with here for this championship is coming into the evening. Anthony Calatoni came in with a 11-point advantage between himself and the 07 of Justin Lewis, and only 2 points behind Lewis was that number 88 of Clay Cantrell. So our top 3 in the points, separated by 13 positions on the racetrack and 13 positions in the point standings on the speedway right now. So things could get pretty wild here to finish off the night as the lights are off the official iRacing pace car, and that means we're going to get ready to go back to battle. We're going to go back to green flag racing here in what could be an absolutely wild finish to the night here, chat. This is going to be exciting. We're going to have to wait and see. Anything can happen. We could see a driver come from 30th still into the race lead. We could see driver from 10th come up in the last lap and pick up the win. We could see a lot of different caution flags, a lot of contact, a lot of carnage, and see even more drivers have to go down pit side and possibly be eliminated from this race with the damage here late in this one. As we get ready to head down through the Geico restart zone. The 60 ride of Christian Angel out in front with Daryl Young Jr. there to his outside. Jackson Glenn Austin, Brett Patterson there in third and fourth, as Benjamin says, I'm loving this league. Yes, Sirski, this league is absolutely amazing as we go back to green flag racing. The green flag quickly out here for the 60 ride as Christian Angel jumps to the outside lane here right in front of that 19 of Jackson Glenn Austin. Austin right there on his back bumper is Daryl Young Jr. there in that third spot on the outside row as the outside row a little bit more conformed, and they are working here at the front of the field as things a little bit more single file. We do see Dale Miller down through the apron there, down low on the speedway. He's going to rejoin the field here down in corner number 3. A tough break right there for Dale Miller as that'll put him back in the 28th position, and currently being scored the last driver on the lead lap right now is Wesley Donaldson in 29th. He is being scored there in the 29th position, and he's the first car one lap down out there on the speedway. So only lead lap drivers inside the top 28 left out there on the racetrack is Christian Angel looking to try to pick up this checkered flag. He's got a lot of fast cats back there behind him. And here comes our points leader in the championship here for the MNT Cup Series. It's the Talking Giants. Jump Boy Media number 84 of Mr. Anthony Calatoni now up into second as he pushes the 27 of Brett Patterson to the race lead here. Does Calatoni stay down low? Not a whole lot of help down on the bottom side of the speedway. Do they hop up to the high side or do they get some help? Does someone jump down here? No. Looks like the 84 will jump up to the high side. The 60 ride will try to go down low here. It's going to break up him and the 71 of Daryl Young Jr. Daryl into the middle here. Now the 84 going to go to the middle. Wowzers. Everyone shuffling around here on the racetrack. Drivers making moves here all throughout the speedway. And you see Justin Bentley right there trying to work himself to the point here in that Scott Bloomquist number 16 ride as he'll jump into that middle lane. Unfortunately, not a whole lot of drafting help there. So he's going to slide right in behind the 84 of Anthony Calatoni. Justin Lewis starting to work himself back up towards the front here as well as Lewis there in position number 7 on the speedway here. He's worked himself up inside the top 10 as things are getting wild here at Talladega. Oh, my God, chat, my bad. My mic was muted. I must have muted that when I coughed. My bad. Rookie mistake there. As we do see lots of contact here. These drivers coming together and getting bound together right here as we do see the 57, the 16 kind of getting together there as we watch that there. And a little bit of a silent movie mode here. We'll go a little quicker here as we do see the drivers unfortunately coming together. Drivers making contact in just 4 wide racing, and fortunately, as the intensity builds 4 wide, there's not a whole lot of room to make mistakes. We see quite a few drivers get collected in that one, including the 88 ride of Cantrell, as Cantrell gets a little bit of contact in that 88 ride, but man, he is unfortunately lucky to keep on rolling here, as there was a lot of damage back there behind him. As you take a look at the 94 and the 01 ride, the contact that they make up into the outside fence here absolutely just destroys the 94, and then heavy damage for AJ Cruz. His tough luck continues here on the season. Jay Stinson with a little damage there in the 98 ride, as we are ready to rock and roll here once again. We'll get them stacked up, racked up, and see how this one gets rocking and rolling here in this one. Is definitely cooked. We're a little cooked up in here. It's been a long day in the office, as we'll get them stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to Green Flag Racing as Corey Rainey out in front. Daryl Young Jr. there in second. Anthony Calatoni there in third with Jackson Glenn Austin and Alec Martinez. Our top 5 here on the Speedway, as we'll get them stacked up, racked up, and ready to go for our first attempt at NASCAR Overtime here with the MNT Cup Series. As Brett Patterson there in 6th. You see one of our championship hopefuls, the 07 of Justin Lewis in that 07 ride, currently in the 7th position, is Charles Van Schaik there in position number 8, as see Josh Small, Clark Jenkin, our top 10 on the Speedway. Christian Angel there in 11th. Zach Nerney there in position number 12. Storm Patterson, Todd Merkel, Clay Cantrell, our top 15 here on the Speedway, is our top 3 in the points, currently still up inside the top 15, but right now the driver that is leading the points championship sitting in that 3rd spot on the Speedway. Can Anthony Calatoni maybe just survive the rest of this race, come out of this with a solid top 5 finish, maybe a top 3 or a win here to extend his points lead here on the championship? We're going to find out here as the lights are off, the official iRacing pace truck, and we'll get ready to go Green Flag Racing as the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, the Reese's Machine, the 4 ride of Corey Rainey leads the way here. So Corey Rainey out in front with Daryl Young Jr. leading the outside lane here on the restart. Anthony Calatoni, Jackson Glenn Austin lined up there in row number 2 with Alec Martinez and Brett Patterson there in row 3. Justin Lewis, Charles Van Schaik, Josh Small, Clark Jenkin ready to go back to battle here. It's still anyone's game, as I do believe anyone inside our top 24 may still have an opportunity at picking up the win here this evening, as our top 24 still on the lead lap, as the 16 rider Justin Bentley trying to reel in the back of the pack here as he'll get ready to go back to battle, as Kerry Klein, one of those drivers that's unfortunately a lap down, multiple laps down out here on the Speedway for the 44 ride. Currently scored, though, in the 25th position. Fred Anderson down pit side. He's back there in 26. We do see AJ Cruz, Jake Stinson, Steve Tucker out there on the Speedway. It's Cruz and Stinson off the racetrack, and Fred Anderson still parked down pit side. Steve Tucker may have the opportunity to at least salvage and pick up a few more spots here before the end of this evening. And with this being our first of 3 attempts at NASCAR Overtime, we may have to see them get stacked up, racked up, and going back to battle here once again. So this is going to be very, very interesting. Do we see a second green-white checkered finish? Do we see another NASCAR Overtime, or do we see this go clean and green for the rest of this race? We're about to find out. As down through the Geico restart zone, Corey Rainey is going to put the hammer down as we go back. The Green Flag Racing is our first attempt at NASCAR Overtime here with the MNT Cup Series at Talladega Super Speedway. As Rainey down low, getting a push here now from the 84 of Anthony Calatoni as the outside lane hooked up, as Daryl Young Jr. looking to get some big pushes, but 3 wide for second. Here comes the 43 of Alec Martinez. Martinez will quickly make this a 3 wide race towards the front of the field, as the 43 Gonna try to make some moves here quickly up into that second spot on the inside lane as the 4-rider Corey Rainey will jump up in front of him. You see Justin Lewis right there with him, but we see more shuffling around here as the 71 of Darrell Young Jr. leads the way on the outside. Contact! There's the caution flag. We will go back and try this one all over again. Tons of carnage here as drivers tied together down into the inside fence here. Ooh, baby! Caution flag going to come back out here in this one. Yowzers, this is not what a lot of these drivers wanted to see. It's towards the front of the field, just good, hard racing, pushing and shoving. The intensity fired up here. Each and every one of these drivers looking to try to put themselves into victory lane. Unfortunately, it looks like a tough push right here from the 43 ride. He's going to get into the back bumper of Corey Rainey, pushes Rainey up the speedway. Looks like they're going to maybe try to go to the outside of the 27. The 4-ride thinks better of it, though. Tries to get back down low. Then has to come back up and just kind of over the nose of the 43, but then comes up and over the 43 hard into Jackson Glenn Austin, into the outside fence. You see the GOAT Racing diecast ride gang collected in that one. Christian Angel, heavy damage there, as well as the 42 of Clark Jenkin also getting contact into that one, as lots of drivers getting damage here. Down through quarter number 3 and 4, and we will try this one all over again as we will go to our second attempt at NASCAR overtime here on the evening. So not over until the fat lady sings here, ladies and gentlemen. It's still anybody's race towards the front of the field, but heavy damage for the 4-ride, heavy damage for that 00 ride as well on the speedway. We will get them stacked up, racked up. We do see quite a bit of damage as well on the front end of this number 60 ride of Christian Angel, who's led quite a bit of laps here in this race. We saw Josh Small with a little bit of damage as well. Alec Martinez getting pretty tore up there. The 42 ride of Clark Jenkin getting quite a bit of damage as well, but he's going to stay out there on the speedway and not come down pit side. So gonna just run it until she's dead, I suppose, for a lot of these drivers, as we will get ready to get them ready to rock and roll here once again in this one. As will it end like ours, says Lance Brantlinger? I don't know, Lance. It may be shaping up to that. It may be shaping up to that as a crazy end to this race. It may end up being a late race wreck and a battle back to the line here, but we got to see that white flag before we can see the checkered flag. And right now, our second attempt at NASCAR overtime. The one thing we do not want to see is this race end under yellow. So if we see another caution flag here as we go back to green flag racing, if we see another yellow flag come out before that white flag again, we will try our third and final attempt at NASCAR overtime, where things are going to get a little bit more treacherous for these drivers, as if there's a caution flag during that third and final attempt, no matter what, the next flag will end the race. So we could be 200 feet past the start-finish line, getting that third and final NASCAR overtime attempt, have a caution flag down through quarter number 1, and the race be over and basically ends it under the caution flag and behind the pace car. We don't want to see the race end like that. We want to see this race go right down to the very end, at least a white flag and then checkered flag under power, and see these drivers duke it out, whether or not they're wrecking across the line, or a driver that's made it through a wreck or through the carnage, able to kind of keep himself clean and out of it to be able to pick up the win. That's more or less what we want to see. We don't want to see this end like this right here under the caution flag. So we'll get them stacked up, ranked up, and ready to go here in just a moment, as AJW coming in, smashing that subscribe button, becoming a brand new member of the Peacemaker family here on the YouTube channel. Welcome to the Peacemaker family. AJ coming in, smashing that subscribe button. AM Pro FDDDD coming in as well with the follow over on the Twitch channel. Welcome to the Peacemaker family. AM Pro coming in, showing the big love here in this one as well, smashing that follow button. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you guys have been enjoying the racing action, hit that like button for me, hit the share, hit the follow, hit that gosh heck and subscribe button as we get ready to go back to green flag racing here in just a moment. I'm going to get a quick drink into me, and then we're going to get right into the action here to finish off what could be the final restart of the evening. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you came here for a show. Well, here you go. As we're going to get ready for our second attempt at NASCAR Overtime here in the MNT Cup Series. These drivers getting stacked up 2 by 2 by 2. We will drive this overtime all over again. Who will end up in victory lane? Will we see another caution flag before we see the white flag, or will we see this one come down to our checkered flag here on the evening? As these drivers stacked up, you see right there, starting inside of row number 2, a pair of our championship contenders, the 07 of Justin Lewis, who's only 11 points in the championship hunt here, behind the 84, the Talking Giants, John Boy Media, number 84, right of Anthony Galatoni, who's there to his outside. Not too far back, you see our third place in the points, the 88 right of Clay Cantrell will restart here in the 8th position. So a lot of our championship contenders right here at the front of the field. Can they hang on? Can they hold off each other and see if they can try to either extend or gain some points here in this points championship, as only one more race after this one. As we are going to get ready to go back to green flag racing, is down through the Geico restart zone. Daryl Young Jr. with the quick green flag jump. He is looking to maybe slide in front of the 27. There he goes. He's going to make that late race move, but there's some contact. The 27 of Brett Patterson down into the infield. He's going to keep that car pointed in the right direction, going to keep on rolling, looking to get back onto the racetrack. Unfortunately, going from the penthouse to the outhouse here through quarter 1 and 2 on the speedway. Is at the front of the field. The 71 of Daryl Young Jr. leads the way as the 84 of Anthony Galatoni right there on his back bumper. The 42 of Clark Jenkin there in third as Clay Cantrell, Derek Cat, our top 5 here on the speedway. Can the man with the plan, the master man, the MNT Motorsports 21 ride, find himself a way to victory lane? Is nice and easy down through quarter number 3 and 4, down through the tri-oval. No caution flag, no yellows as of yet. We will see the white flag fly. So the next flag will finish it. The next flag will be our checkered flag. No matter what, is out in front. Daryl Young Jr. looking to try to pick up the checkered flag here at Talladega Super Speedway. Down low, the 07 ride trying to get a roll here as they're going to go 3 wide. They're going to leave the 71 high and dry up there on the outside lane. Contact. Derek Cat down through the infield. Tough break right there for the 21 rider. He's going to try to rejoin the field. Is down through quarter number 3 for the final time here on the evening. It's our points leader, the 84 of Anthony Galatoni, who leads the way. But here comes Clark Jenkin to his outside. Clay Cantrell pushing him as they work down through the tri-oval. Cantrell gonna go through the inside here, 4 wide, down across the line, door the door. Oh, it's the 42 of Clark Jenkin. Scored as our race winner. Clark Jenkin able to pick up the win by inches over the 88 of Clay Cantrell. Is Cantrell making some moves there, trying to leave him high and dry to get the run. Unfortunately, could not make that pass to pick up the win, but he does get one additional spot over the 84 of Anthony Galatoni. Justin Bentley there in 4th. Daryl Young Jr. there in the 5th position, as Clay Cantrell getting destroyed there after the checkered flag, but it's all Clark Jenkin here in this one. As the 42 ride will pull up into the Talladega victory lane here. He's going to get ready to celebrate as Jenkin picking up the win. What a run and what a drive there by that 42, as he's going to be absolutely pumped about picking up the win here this evening, man. What a finish. What a drive there for him, as Fred Anderson says, once again, watching from the holler. Yeah, Fred, unfortunately, brother, had a good car here throughout the evening. I thought you were going to be right up there, brother, but some late race contact. That's Talladega. As Clark Jenkin and the entire team here going to party down here on Talladega front straightaway, as they're going to celebrate together here in very, very fancy fashion down on the front straightaway, as crew going to battle and finding their way to the front of the field. And I do believe they call themselves the Ritz Racing crew. So the Ritz Racing rides, the Storm Patterson, Alec Martinez, Clark Jenkin, all celebrating the win here for that 42 ride, as they're laying down some good strips here, some great smoke for all these fans in the stands, as Great run, great race, great finish here, and a great win for the Family Dollar Oreo number 42 of Clark Jenkin. As we'll get ready to pull our top 3 up into the broadcast booth here for post-race interviews as the motor decides to fall out the bottom end there of the 42 ride of Clark Jenkin. He'll take his car off the racetrack and down to victory lane here, and we'll get ready to pull our top 3 up into the broadcast booth as man, what a wild run. What a wild finish here to finish off the evening as Fred says, great ending right there. AJW says, atta boy, Clark, atta boy, Mr. Clark Jenkin picking up the win here in this one as we're going to get ready to pull our race winner up into the broadcast booth here for his post-race interview. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for Clark Jenkin as he picks up the win. We're going to pull him up here into the broadcast booth. Hey, Clark, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. To get a copy?
Yes, sir.
Clark, brother, you're able to get it done and find your way to victory lane here in this one, man. Take us back through these closing laps as a couple green-white checkers, and somehow or another, you're able to get kind of locked together there with Clay Cantrell down the back straightaway and into corner number 3 and 4. He tries to make the move through the tri-oval, but you're able to kind of just find that extra gear and put yourself up here in victory lane by inches over the 88 right here this evening, and the rest of all these amazing competitors right there nipping at your heels as well.
Yeah, well, that last block in the tri-oval, I mean, I was going to throw it, and then I don't know how I processed it fast enough, but I figured if I did, I was going to kill the whole field, and I didn't want to do that. So I figured I'd just side draft the hell out of him, and hopefully I got a push, and I did. And we'll take a win with the Guangdong Motor Club. We're back to back. I hate it for Clay because I think he finished second last week to Mr. Martinez, so that's gotta suck. But no, that was fun, man. I don't know what the hell I was doing, and I guess I got lucky.
Absolutely. Hey, you know what? Every once in a while, a blind squirrel finds a nut out there on the speedway. And when it comes to these super speedways, a lot of times that's what it comes down to. Just being lucky, being at the right place at the right time, having the right car behind you, maybe making that move, 4 feet short of what they needed to win the race. If Clay maybe made that move a little bit early to get to your inside, maybe it would have been the difference of picking up the win or not between yourself and him. If he would have made that, just a split second sooner, could have put himself up into victory lane as you're able to get that win over him by 8/1000ths of a second there, man. Absolutely tight finish down across the line, but man, a great run and a great race here for you all evening long as we saw you and the team really working together, moving around, trying different lines, and you guys really weren't scared to kind of, jump from the high side to the bottom side and move around the racetrack, and it worked to your conditions here late in this race with the late race restart and really trying to find each other and find some holes out there to get yourself to the front of the field. You're able to find them at the right time, be at the right place, and put yourself up here into victory lane.
Yeah, that's all my teammates, man. They were great tonight. I hate that all 3 of them got destroyed, but without them, I for sure wouldn't be here. Just the Guangdong Beijing Sweatshop Motorsports, we work really hard, so it's great to go back to back.
Absolutely, definitely, always a good time when you can go back-to-back here in the season, and especially coming closer and closer to the end of this one, trying to finish off the season on a strong foot here. Also, we know you guys missed a few of those races, not really in contention here for the championship, but how do you kind of race with those guys when you're battling up there? You got Clay Cantrell, one of the championship hopefuls here on the season, Anthony Calatoni, who's our championship leader right now, and Justin Lewis right there as well. How do you kind of race with those guys here, not only through this race, but in the next race as well, knowing that the championship's on the line? As much as you guys want to get the win, and you guys play a little bit more respectful, maybe give them a little bit more room out there on the racetrack, or you're just going to run it the way you run it, and the way you guys have been doing it and picking up a lot of wins here on the season.
I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but for myself personally, I'm never just going to go out there and wreck somebody, especially when they're running for a championship. I try to give respect. I try not to pinch. I don't throw late blocks unless I absolutely have to. So, honestly, whether they're in the championship or not, I'm not going to run them dirty. And knowing that they are battling for that, yeah, I'll give a little extra room. That's why I didn't throw that block on the 88. But, I mean, whether or not he was championship, I probably wouldn't have thrown it either way. It's just, that's not the way I race. It's kind of a scumbag move to do stuff like that, in my personal opinion, so I stay away from it. But I'm glad they got good finishes, and I didn't disrupt that battle at all.
Absolutely, is definitely a disruptor in their battle, but being able to race them clean, being able to kind of not really mess them up or hurt their chances at a good finish here on the evening, as Clay was right there, Anthony right there, as well as you're able to kind of disrupt their chances of winning this race as you park yourself up here in victory lane. I'm sure they're both going to be happy that they were even just able to survive this evening. I'm sure a lot of drivers throughout our top 10, top 15 are probably pretty happy that they were able to just kind of make it through a lot of the incidences, a lot of the cautions out there on the racetrack. But man, no one able to do it better than yourself here this evening. As we talked to you early in this race, so you didn't really know what you were doing. You were just kind of going off your teammates, but late in this one, we didn't see a whole lot of teammates around you. You were able to find some other friends to help you to the front of the field and find yourself up here in victory lane.
Yes, sir. I told you I was just gonna send it, see what happens, and I guess that's what happens.
Absolutely. Well, you definitely sent it. You sent it right here into the Talladega victory lane. Clark, who would you like to thank for such a great run and strong performance here this evening?
I appreciate you broadcasting, all the admins here. I don't get to run every week, don't have the time, but it's been a blast every time I've got to run here, even when I don't run as well as I'd like to. I appreciate all the guys that run with Guangdong Motor Club back-to-back, 43 and 42. We're barely making it on the budget, but we're here. And all the competitors, man, this was a fun race. I'm pretty happy with it. Not that many yellows, at least not that I can remember, but I'm also a couple deep, so my judgment may be skewed.
I think your judgment was perfectly fine as you're able to judge your distances and put yourself up here in victory lane. Clark, congratulations on the win. Congratulations on the back-to-back wins for the team, and we can't wait to see you back out here next Friday for our championship finale here at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and don't party too hard down there in victory lane.
No promises.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, give it up there for our race winner, Clark Jenkin. Clark picking up the win, pulling that 42 ride up here into victory lane as we'll get ready to pull in our second place finisher, Clay Cantrell. Clay coming home here in position number 2, having himself a great run and a great drive here all throughout the evening. Kind of got tied up there a little bit in that middle of the, those couple caution flags late in this race, but able to keep himself really out of major contact, major incident there, and able to keep on keeping on and almost picking up this checkered flag, losing it officially by 8/100ths of a second, or 8/1000ths of a second, 8/1000ths of a second between first and second here this evening. So we're going to pull Clay up into the broadcast booth. Hey Clay, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. They get a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Clay, brother, man, a close race here for you as you almost put yourself up into victory lane here at Talladega. 8/1000ths of a second between yourself and victory here this evening as Clark Jenkin. You gave him a good push, got yourselves to a good position. You make that move to try to get to his inside, try to get around him there before the start-finish line. Unfortunately, maybe a split second shy of what you needed to put yourself into victory lane.
Man, I told you last week, keep putting yourself in position. You're going to win some races, and damn if we haven't been close, right? I mean, it's been crazy. I mean, the main thing tonight was just stay out of trouble and just have ourselves in a position to stay in the points race here and try to have a chance at winning the championship next week. Overall, it's a good night. Didn't get it done. We're 12 back in the points, so that's all we can ask for going into next week.
Absolutely, brother. You're able to gain at least 1 point there over Anthony. You're able to, have a good finish, have a good run here, as we did see it throughout, a couple of those caution flags, be right there in the thick of things, right in the middle of it, and luckily enough, keep your car, for the most part, in good condition. Not a whole lot of damage. And right there at the end, being able to work yourself up through some of the traffic and back towards the front of the field here and being able to survive this race and come out of this with gaining a point, still got to feel pretty dang good. Almost got to feel like a win, but not quite a win here as you're so
it feels like a win, but it was a foot away.
Yeah, it was right there.
But yeah, it was a great race again. I mean, we ran 4 in a row I think we had 3 that went caution free, and then we had another good race tonight, good finishes in all of them, and that's all we can ask for. So, overall, man, yeah, it stinks. I mean, we lost by a foot, but that's all you can ask for coming into Dega is just don't wreck the car and try to keep yourself in a good points position. So, overall, it's a good night.
Absolutely. Able to survive and live another day, and you're able to head down into our championship race next week and still within striking distance of Anthony Calatoni to try to win this championship here in the inaugural season of the MNT Cup Series here. Clay, who would you like to thank for a great run and a great performance here on the evening?
Man, just like to thank the admins for what they do, Derek and Zach and Justin, the rest of the team. I mean, they do a great job. Thank you. Awesome setup again, even though, I mean, Talladega is a little bit different, but it was a great setup again. And just overall, just glad we could do this for sure.
Absolutely, brother. Well, we're glad to have you guys out there on the racetrack. Continue to put on another good show here for us, and we look forward to seeing you back out there on next Friday and see if we can get you up here into the booth again and maybe up here for a championship, speech at the end of the season.
Awesome. Yeah, and another thing too, looks like we're going to be heading into season 2 here. Going to take a couple weeks off. The weekend after Labor Day, we're going to head straight into season 2. And going to have you back in the booth, and we'll have an announcement here soon.
Heck yeah, brother. We can't wait for it. Hope to, see you guys all back in contention. Obviously, always having a great field of drivers and obviously bringing in more and more and more week after week. And drivers seeing, how good and competitive this season is and how clean it's been and everything else. I'm sure there's going to be a hot commodity of drivers wanting to get in here and on the fun with the MNT Cup Series.
Absolutely. The best season I've seen so far from as far as the competition and the race quality. I mean, it's definitely been hard to beat. Season 1's been great, and hopefully we can carry that on into season 2.
Absolutely. Hopefully we can, and I can't wait to see you guys back out there for season 2. I mean, a couple weeks off is going to be all right. I mean, I'll be able to, maybe sleep a little early or something on Fridays or head to a racetrack myself. But, we got one more race to go, and it's going to be a big one, and we can't wait to see you guys out there ready to battle next Friday.
Absolutely, man. Thanks. We'll see you next week.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and, hopefully we'll see you right back up here next Friday.
Sounds good, man. We'll see you then.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, give it up there for our second place finisher here on the evening. The 88 rider, Clay Cantrell, as he comes home in position number 2. Here on the evening, as we'll pull in our third place finisher, the number 84 of Anthony Calatoni. As Calatoni coming home here in position number 3. Our points leader coming into the evening. We'll pull him up into the broadcast booth. Hey, Anthony, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Taking a copy?
Aaron, what's going on?
What's good, Anthony, brother? A bit of a wild evening, a bit of a wild race here. We see a lot of late race caution flags. Luckily enough, you're able to keep yourself out of them here for majority of the evening. Keep that car clean and slowly but surely work yourself back up towards the front of the field here and being right there at the end with a couple feet off of picking up the checkered flag here yourself.
Yeah. Started up front, and then we were talking with teammates and everything, and they were like, "You should just be hanging at the back right now in the beginning." So that's when we dropped back to mid pack there, found a nice little spot, and then with caution started coming out, and just you couldn't go anywhere when you were back there in 25th, because everyone they just wanted to suck your door and slow you down, pull you back, and not they didn't want to go to the front. They took their run, and then it would just end up stalling everyone out. So I just kind of hung around there, avoided some wrecks. Got forced 3 wide there that one time for that one caution when the one got, I guess, shoved up there. He was up against the wall, and he just started coming down, and I was already next to someone, so we just kind of got sandwiched there. But had a little scare off turn 4, I think it was. avoided that one.
Absolutely. Definitely a lot of carnage out there to avoid. Definitely a lot of stuff to keep you on your toes, especially knowing that you come into this race with, the points lead, having an 11-point cushion between yourself and Justin Lewis and 13 between you and Clay Cantrell. You had to be, safe. You had to keep yourself out of issues here on the evening. If you would have came home with a 30th place or 35th place finish, it would have opened up the door for those guys to leapfrog you and put you behind the 8 ball going into our championship race next Friday. How do you attack this race? How do you keep yourself battling and trying to get to the front of the field here late in this one, knowing how much is on the line?
Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's coming to 10 to go, 5 to go, white flag. coming to the Checkers. Any lap here at Talladega is just it. It's more of a gamble than putting $100 on a hand of blackjack. You have no idea what's going to happen the next 10 feet, the next 5 inches even. Um, your whole point situation can change in a matter of a second. But it's just a gamble that you have to take, and you gotta hope that it just works out at the end. In the end.
And it worked out fairly well here for you on the evening as you pull it up here in position number 3, a couple feet off of picking up the checkered flag here yourself. You don't give up any points to Justin Lewis. You extend your points lead over him, and Clay Cantrell only gaining 1 point there on you on the evening. So going into the championship race, a 12-point lead here, giving yourself a little bit of cushion going into Charlotte. How comfortable you feel with that little bit of a cushion headed into that mile-and-a-half speedway there in Charlotte, North Carolina.
I feel pretty. I'm not going to say confident or comfortable because, again, I mean, if we're going to pull 30-something cars, anything can happen in Charlotte. But I feel good at Charlotte. I feel comfortable there. If the setups are going to be how they've been, which is they've been on the tighter side, I'm more favor of a neutral to tighter car. I drive it better. So I feel good uh, about going into next week. Just got to try and stay close to those guys. Don't give up a lot of track position. Don't give up a lot of time. Got to make sure no mistakes on pit road, no speeding, no missing entry, exit. Can't cross the apron line. Just it's going to be straight focus from the drop of the green flag to hopefully catching the checkers and a championship.
Absolutely, brother. We can't wait to see how it all unfolds there next Friday for you and see if you can finish off the season. A great season for you. We've already seen you get some wins, have a lot of these good top 3 finishes to put yourself into this position to try to pick up this championship. And next week, I'm sure is going to be a dogfight right down to the very bitter end. I know Clay and Justin are probably going to be right there on their tippy toes trying to, pick up the win themselves or put them into the best position possible to where they can try to gain as many points to maybe leapfrog you and take this championship away from you. But I think it's going to be a tight battle right down to those final closing laps, just like it was here today at Talladega. And hopefully we'll see it not only up here in the broadcast booth after the race for having a good finish, but also for picking up that championship next week. Anthony, who would you like to thank here though today for such a good run and strong performance here yourself?
Oh, first I'm going to have to thank the boys over there at Talking Giants podcast, John Boy Media. I couldn't do this as consistent as I would without their support and their sponsorship throughout all my racing leagues. I gotta thank MNT, the league, for hosting. It's I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying this new league that I started. I'm glad that me and my teammate found it. Uh, Gotta thank BPPC Motorsports for the great teamwork of Wesley and Charles. And I gotta thank you for the broadcast. You're knocking it out of the park. I love your crank it ups.
Absolutely, brother. We always try to give everyone the beautiful looks and the sights and sounds at every racetrack we go to. Gives me a quick little break as well, get a drink or cough, clear my throat or anything else, and allows people to get a cool little look, different aspect of the racetrack compared to just plain straightforward broadcasts like we see a lot of other broadcasters do. And we try to always keep people on the edge of their seats and tied right in on the action, as we saw a lot of it here this evening. We saw a great run here from yourself. Congratulations on the 3rd place finish. We can't wait to see you out there for that championship race next Friday, brother.
Thank you, you too. And I'm going to throw a little quick thing in. We're going to have to hop out of this, hop into the Silverado now over at Sim 500 on Signature Esports and drive that Talking Giant Chevy. And we're going to try and catch another checker flag here in about a minute and a half.
Beauty. Well, good luck out there, brother. Have fun and enjoy the truck series there with the Sim 500 boys. And hopefully we'll, another checkered flag here for you, man. Keep that momentum strong. Keep that momentum going. And maybe another good run here for you to finish off the night.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Good luck out there.
You too.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, give it up there for the 84 wide of Anthony Calatoni as Anthony picks up the third place finish here on the evening. A great run and a great finish there for the 84 wide as he comes home in position number 3. Unfortunately, though, that is going to do it here for us on the evening. That is going to be the end of the night here on Peacemaker Gaming as our broadcasts have all come to a close here. And we were possibly going to be doing this other series that's happening right now that Anthony just talked about, but unfortunately time constraints just a little too close to where this one finishes and where theirs kind of starts. And we could have saw abundance more of caution flags throughout this race and overlapping them. So unless if they were pushing theirs back, then we might have been able to do it, but they wanted to go right at 11, so we had to say no, unfortunately. Wish we could have got it in there, wish we could have helped out the Sim 500 boys, but we may have some more action with them brewing here for the future here and already into 2025 as we have multiple series that we've done now for Sim 500. So good group of guys over there, a lot of great action. Make sure you guys go check them out, and if you guys want to get in on any of their racing action, make sure you check out Sim 500 there. But if you guys want to get into this series, if you guys want to race here with the MNT Cup Series, so you heard it there from Clay as season 2 will be getting underway here in probably about a month from now. We'll probably be going back to the first race of the second season, as this season about to end next week. It'll take a couple weeks to kind of do some recruitment races, get some more drivers in here, kind of expand the series a little bit more, and fill this thing up. Every single week we want to see those 40, 50 drivers in here duking it out and battling lap after lap after lap to keep on giving us one heck of a show like we saw here this evening. And I can't thank you guys enough for tuning in and showing the love here all evening long. Everyone coming in with the likes, the comments, the shares. I appreciate each and every single one of you, all of the new followers and subscribers between Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. I appreciate each and every one of you and welcome you to the Peacemaker family. Unfortunately, that is going to do it for us here tonight. We will be back, though, tomorrow evening as we have the Premium Stock Car Racing League back in action tomorrow night. We will go back to battle there, and should be a great race over there as well. So we're going to have a lot more fun there tomorrow evening. So make sure you have those bell notifications turned on. That way you never miss it when we go live here on Peacemaker Gaming. But thank y'all for tuning in. I'll catch y'all later. Peace out for now, baby. Peace out for now, ladies and gentlemen.